I am writing a paper on the hyperbaric chambers and their effect on the human body for a class in chemistry. The first place that I'm going to go is I'm going to open up Google Chrome. It's better than Internet Explorer because Internet Explorer is slow. And I will go to Google. Now that I'm at Google, I am going to start by simply doing a keyword search of hyperbaric chambers. And, well, I got hyperbaric oxygen therapy, but that's not quite what I want. Oh, there we go, hyperbaric chamber. And the first thing that pops up is an ad. Not really interested in any type of ads. So I'm just going to scroll on down. There's a Wikipedia. I don't generally like using Wikipedia, but it is an interesting place to go ahead and get the juices flowing by what might actually be used. So I'll usually just open up Wikipedia just to check and see, where else can I take this from? And so basically it's talking about how hyperbaric chamber is the medical use of oxygen at a level higher than atmospheric pressure. That's unique, and so I'm just gonna continue, just kind of skim this thing and see what might actually be interesting, and if there's any dangers or something that might come with it. Um, Here's the medical uses that they have. That's something I need to look at, and they have a lot here that seems like it's good for fixing, which is something that definitely applies to my paper. Um, it's interesting that, this says that patients who have hearing issues might have help from the hyperbaric chambers, and just continue on with all the things. Hum. Okay, now that I got kind of an idea, and oh, here we go. There's hyperbaric chambers, and actually gives a couple of pictures and gives me an idea what they might actually look like, and gives an example of what they are, a hard chamber that consists of, and so on and so forth, and just kind of explaining a little bit of what they are. Now that I've kind of got an idea of what hyperbaric chambers sort of are and what they might actually be used for, I'm going to go back to my search and see if I can find a better site, because Wikipedia is not the best. Here's the Mayo Clinic. I've heard of the Mayo Clinic, and I know that they're a good source. They know what they're talking about for the most part. Um, so I'm going to pull them up and see what they have. Here they go. The definition: hyperbaric oxygen therapy involves breathing pure oxygen in a pressurized room, which would be the hyperbaric chamber. So they use it for scuba diving, serious infections, bubbles of air in your blood vessels, and wounds that won't heal as a result of diabetes or radiation. So now I got a little bit of stuff from here. I like the definition, and I like the fact that it's from the Mayo Clinic. So I'm going to go open up Word. And there it was. Open up Word. Now that Word's open, I am going to take a copy of the address up at the top and paste it into my first spot, and then underneath it put down some of the interesting thing that I'm interested in just by copying and pasting. Now, this is not actually what I will be putting into my paper. It is just a rough set of notes. I'll take what I find interesting. I won't take the entire article. I will go, say for this little spot right here, the in a hyperbaric chamber paragraph, I will just copy it, go to Word, and paste it in there. And then I'd go back and see what else is there. I like this paragraph right here, so I will copy and paste it for future reference as well. Now that I got a couple of things from the Mayo Clinic site, I'm going to go back one step and start looking at other sites. Up next we have the hyperbaric chamber for the Encyclopedia Britannica. Well, encyclopedias are generally good. They can be a little bit wordy, but they generally have really good information. So I'm just going to open that up and look down and just see what the Britannica says about it. Well, that's interesting. It came into use around 1860. Definitely want that fact, because the beginning is always a good place to start. So just copying that, pasting it in my Word along with the IP, with the address up on the top. Okay, now that I have that, I'm going to continue looking on this and see if there's anything else. Okay, so most of this that I see in here, I've already seen on the other site, but it's nice to see that I do actually have what I found on the other site backed up, because it's always better if you can find a source that says something. It's good to find backup for it, because no matter the site, somebody can always make a simple mess up and you won't get the right correction. Next up, I'm going to look at the United States National Library of Medicine. That sounds very scholarly. Now that I pulled up the site, I mean, it looks like one of those teach you how to deal with problem sites, and it does seem to have some good information about the hyperbaric chambers on here. So I like that it gives a specific list of what the wounds it can help with. So I'm going to copy that, go back into Word, paste it in, and then make sure I put my address with it so I can keep straight where I got what from where. Okay, so now I'm going to go back, and don't really see anything else on this page that I like. I'm going to back out. So now I kind of want to get a little bit better feel of what hyperbaric chambers actually are. So I think I'm going to try to find a hyperbaric chamber sales place. And there seems to be several up here in the ads. Now they might just be ads in the end, but you never know, they might have some interesting information that might actually be useful. So now I am just going through learning about the company, and specifically the one that makes them, and it's talking about how many there are, how many they've made, what all they're trying to do with it. They focus specifically on diving medicine, which seems to be a very big thing for hyperbaric chambers. They have some just interesting information about their product. They have a little quick fact and did you know section. I'm going to go to their products now and see what kind of the products are and what's special about each product. Now I'm on this page and it has several different little things. They're talking about a soft shell one, which is not, it fits into two little carry bags and be carried around. So it's not one of those hard ones that is completely stationary, but it's one that can be carried around and is portable. That is pretty neat. I mean, there's apparently two different types. So I'm gonna just get a little bit of information here. I'm just gonna do portable hyperbaric chambers because this is the first place that I really heard of them. I didn't see them anywhere else. So I'm gonna keep that in mind. I might want to look that up a little bit later, considering that there are more. Now they have a couple of their bigger ones over here, such as their Solace 210. So I'm going to open that up and see what there is about their chamber. Okay, this one seems to be one of their portable hyperbaric chambers, and it is their most popular model. And some of the things that they have that is special to this one is this setup right here. So I'm going to copy that because that has a lot of information about what actually composes a, a hyperbaric chamber, especially a portable one. So make sure I get the place from where that was. Don't want to not have that. And now, okay, so I've got about a page of notes, but I've found a lot about hyperbaric chambers, like what they are, not really how they're made. I haven't seen that yet, but I've seen like what they are, how they compress oxygen to create an area for growth and um, protection and healing. But I'm looking for its effects on the bodies. So it sounds like it heals, but I do not have any specific information on how it heals. So I'm going to go back up and do hyperbaric chamber effects on the human body. Now it is pretty specific, and I don't really expect that it'll pull up exactly what I need, but you never know what is out there, and it might lead me to something that I can use. So I'm pulling up a lot of Wikipedia. Oh, here's academia.edu. That sounds like that might be something useful. It looks like I have stumbled upon a um, research paper by Dominic D. Agostino. Um, it does not seem like this site is loading though. So, unfortunately, I can't look at that. If I could, I would. So, I'm just going to continue on down, and here's a hyperbaric oxygenation and pressure effects on medication from Medscape. I don't really know what this is, but I'm going to pull it up and see. Um, Here we go. And it's talking about its professor on medications. So the drugs that are already in the body, it seems that what kind of effect it takes on them. But I'm not really looking for the medications part exactly. I'm more looking for just the human body without the medications. So I'm going back up and I'm going to continue on and see what I can find. Um, Oh, here's a frequently asked questions about hyperbaric chambers. They might have something. Um, oh, this looks like a really useful place. It has a lot of information about what it actually consists of, what the two types of chambers are, and just if it's safe, what does it do, and just kind of how it does it. It doesn't really get into many of the technical information of why it works, but oh, here we go. Here are the risk and possible side effects of the hyperbaric chamber treatment. So I'll really need that considering what my paper is over. So I'm just going to copy it, paste it in Word. Got a little bit more than I wanted, so I'll just delete that. And go back up and make sure I put in where I got this from. And go back, get the address, and put it in. Now, I had a lot more on that page that I found rather interesting, so I'm just going to continue looking and there's a lot of information on here, so I'm going to keep this in mind. Might even come back to this at a future date. So I'm just going to go in my Word, and I'm going to go beside it and just type in more information available. Just so that I know that, yeah, I have some information from it, but there might be a little bit more that if I need for future information, say if I find another site that has information I want to back it up, I can come here and see if it matches up correctly. I'm going to back up and going to continue on. Here's one right here from Phenom Strength and Conditioning. They seem to have one of those mobile hyperbaric chambers that I saw earlier, and it's talking a little bit about it. Now, this is a site that sells them, so it's going to give a lot of the good information about them, but not really any negatives, because, I mean, who's going to talk about why something's not right if you're trying to sell it? So, there's a couple of, that's unique. They bring in a law of physics, and it says an increase in atmospheric pressure allows for more gas to be dissolved in any given liquid. Oxygen, the eighth element of the periodic table, exists as a gas at room temperature. The human body is composed of almost completely water. Gas, under pressure, dissolves in water. That is unique and seems to have something to do specifically with the way that oxygen reacts in the human body. So I'm going to just remember Henry's law of physics, and I think I'm going to back up and I'm going to actually Google Henry's law of physics and see if it is a real law and if it does have any bearing on the hyperbaric chamber.